Ladies and gentlemen, when we step into the world of first impressions, there is an undeniable truth. We are creatures of observation. We notice, we assess, and we form perceptions in an instant. It's not shallow, nor is it superficial. It's simply human nature. Men, like women, are drawn to certain things first, not out of choice, but as part of an inherent response to the world around them. Now, the fascinating thing here is that what men notice first is not always what society might lead you to believe. It's not just about appearances or the way someone is dressed. It's about something deeper, something that speaks to the essence of who you are. It could be the confidence in your stride, the warmth of your smile, or the authenticity in your presence. It's the little things, the subtle signals that paint a picture of your character before a single word is spoken. Understanding this isn't about catering to others or seeking validation. It's about recognizing the power you hold in every interaction. It's about embracing the idea that how you carry yourself, your demeanor, your energy, and your authenticity can inspire respect, curiosity, and connection. This is not about being noticed for the sake of it. This is about stepping into your own strength and understanding the profound impact it has, not just on others, but on the way you see yourself. When we talk about first impressions, we must understand that they are not just about the surface-level interactions that occur when we meet someone. First impressions are built on an intricate web of subconscious signals, body language, facial expressions, tone of voice, and most importantly, the energy we project. The power of your presence is far more profound than you might realize. It's not just a fleeting moment. It is a seed that can grow and shape future interactions, future relationships, and even your future sense of self-worth. And think about it for a moment. When you walk into a room, do you walk with purpose? Do you stand tall, shoulders back, head held high, or do you shrink into the background? The way you carry yourself in those first few seconds, the way you present your body to the world, says a great deal about how you perceive yourself and how you want others to perceive you. That power of presence is not just about showing up. It's about commanding attention, not through loud gestures or seeking the spotlight, but through the quiet confidence of someone who knows their worth, who understands their purpose in the room. We live in a world where external validation often dictates how we feel about ourselves. But true confidence comes from within. It comes from a deep understanding that your value isn't contingent on the approval of others, but on the recognition that you are a unique individual with your own strengths and qualities. Confidence is not arrogance. It's not about putting others down or belittling their worth. It's about knowing your worth without needing to prove it. When you walk into a room with confidence, people don't feel threatened by you. They are naturally drawn to you because you carry a sense of assurance that is both calming and magnetic. There's a subtlety to confidence that is often misunderstood. It's not the loud brass kind of energy that demands attention. It's the kind of energy that commands respect without uttering a word. Think about someone you've encountered who seemed to radiate a quiet power. Maybe they weren't the loudest person in the room, but their presence was undeniable. They didn't need to dominate the conversation or be the center of attention. They simply stood tall in who they were, and that presence was enough to make an impact. This kind of presence doesn't come from an external source. It doesn't come from wearing the most expensive clothes or having the most polished appearance. It comes from knowing that your worth is not tied to external circumstances. It comes from the internal recognition that regardless of the situation or the people around you, you have a right to stand firmly in your own skin and assert your place in the world. But how do we cultivate this kind of presence and confidence? It doesn't happen overnight. It's a process, one that requires self-reflection and self-discipline. The first step is understanding who you truly are, what drives you, what your values are, and what makes you feel aligned with your purpose. Confidence doesn't come from pretending to be something you're not. It comes from the courage to be authentically yourself, even when that means being vulnerable. It's about embracing your strengths while also acknowledging your weaknesses and then using both to build a solid foundation for personal growth. When you understand who you are, your presence begins to shift. You stop seeking validation from the outside world, and instead, you create a sense of self-affirmation from within. This doesn't mean you won't experience moments of doubt or insecurity. Everyone does. But it does mean that when those moments arise, you have the internal resilience to push through them. You've built a foundation of self-belief that doesn't crumble when external circumstances shift. The power of your presence is rooted in the way you view yourself in relation to the world around you. If you constantly compare yourself to others, if you're always looking to measure your worth against someone else's success, you will never truly stand in your own power. Confidence comes from recognizing that your path is unique to you. Your journey, with all its ups and downs, is yours to walk, and you don't need anyone else's approval to feel worthy. What's fascinating is that this power of presence doesn't just affect how others perceive you, it affects how you perceive yourself. When you walk with confidence, you create a reality in which you are worthy of respect, worthy of connection, and worthy of success. Confidence allows you to see opportunities where others see obstacles. It allows you to embrace challenges with the belief that you can handle whatever comes your way. This presence is not something you have to force or fake. It's something you cultivate by constantly working on your self-awareness and personal development. When you are consistently improving, when you are moving closer to the person you want to become, your presence will naturally reflect that growth. You don't need to wear a mask or put on a facade. People will notice the real you, because the real you is powerful, capable, and worthy of admiration. Ultimately, the power of presence and confidence is about living authentically, standing tall in your truth and never shrinking back from your greatness. It's about having the courage to show up as you are, knowing that you have something valuable to offer to the world. You don't have to be perfect, but you do have to be honest with yourself. And when you bring that honesty, that authenticity, into every room you enter, it will not go unnoticed. If people will be drawn to your energy, your presence, and your quiet, unwavering confidence. And in return, you will begin to see the world in a way that mirrors your own self-assurance, full of possibilities, full of potential, and full of the undeniable power that comes from knowing who you are. There is something profoundly compelling about authenticity, something that can't be replicated by any superficial facade or masked persona. When we talk about being yourself, it's not just a casual suggestion. It's a powerful transformative concept. To truly embrace authenticity is to unlock the deepest level of connection with the world around you. It's about showing up in a way that is true to who you are, not who you think others want you to be, or who society dictates you should become. In a world that constantly pressures us to fit into predefined molds, there is something incredibly rare and therefore beautiful about standing firm in your own identity. It's easy to get swept away by the tide of expectations, to try and mimic the behaviors or opinions of others, believing that you'll gain approval, success, or belonging. But the truth is that when you do this, you lose something essential. You lose the very essence of who you are, and without that essence, nothing can truly be fulfilled. The beauty of authenticity lies in its unshakable foundation. When you are authentic, you stop trying to prove your worth to others. You stop seeking validation from the outside world. Instead, you come from a place of self-assurance, knowing that your value is inherent, not based on external achievements or the approval of others. Authenticity is a form of self-respect. It's a recognition that you are enough as you are, and you have nothing to prove, because you are already whole. But how does authenticity show up in the world? It shows up in the way you speak, the way you act, the way you engage with others. Authenticity is not something you can fake, because it radiates from the core of your being. It's in the way you express your thoughts, your passions, and your feelings without fear of judgment or rejection. It's in the decisions you make, the way you choose to live, and the actions you take. When authenticity is the absence of pretension, it's the alignment of your words, your actions, and your values. There's a powerful energy that emanates from those who are truly themselves. It's magnetic and it draws people in, not because they are trying to impress others, but because they exude a quiet confidence in who they are. When you are authentic, others can sense it. They don't have to wonder about your motivations or intentions because they can feel your sincerity. And that sincerity creates trust. Trust is a vital currency in every relationship, whether personal, professional, or social. People want to be around those who are genuine, who don't hide behind walls of pretense or facades. They are drawn to the honesty that authenticity brings. In a world dominated by filters, whether digital or societal, there is something revolutionary about standing in your truth, no matter how imperfect that truth may be. Being yourself means accepting your flaws and embracing the parts of yourself that others might deem unconventional or unremarkable. But in reality, these unique qualities are often the very things that make you stand out. The quirks, the scars, the experiences that shape you, these are the things that connect you to others in a deep, meaningful way. When you live authentically, you stop trying to fit into the narrow confines of what others expect you to be. You start living for yourself, and in doing so, you set an example for others to do the same. Authenticity encourages freedom. It's the freedom to speak your mind, to pursue your passions, and to live in alignment with your values, regardless of how others might perceive you. And in that freedom, you find your truest sense of self. In your professional life, authenticity often becomes the differentiator. There are countless people who may possess similar skills, experiences, or qualifications, but it's your authentic voice, your unique perspective, and your true self that makes you stand out. When you bring your whole self into your work, into your relationships, and into every endeavor you undertake, the impact is greater. You can't fake genuine enthusiasm, true creativity, or heartfelt effort. When you show up as yourself, you create a ripple effect that influences those around you, inspiring them to be authentic too. And this creates a culture of openness, trust, and collaboration. In your personal life, authenticity strengthens your relationships. It's easy to wear a mask when meeting new people or trying to impress others, but those relationships often lack depth because they are based on something inauthentic. When you let go of the need to perform and instead simply allow yourself to be who you are, your connections become more genuine. Whether it's with friends, family, or a partner, authenticity creates bonds that are grounded in mutual respect and understanding. You are no longer trying to meet some arbitrary standard set by others. You are building relationships based on shared experiences and true emotional resonance. Authenticity also allows for a deep sense of inner peace. There's an incredible relief that comes from living true to yourself, free from the burden of constantly trying to live up to external expectations. It's exhausting to wear a mask all the time, to try to fit into boxes that were never meant for you. But when you embrace authenticity, you give yourself permission to rest in who you are. There is no longer any need for self-doubt or comparison because you recognize your own worth and power. Being authentic is not about being perfect. In fact, it's quite the opposite. It's about embracing your imperfections, your vulnerabilities, and your mistakes, and owning them as part of your journey. Authenticity does not demand perfection. It demands honesty. It calls for the courage to show up as you are, not as you think others want you to be. And in this courage, there is a quiet, steadfast strength. You might not always be understood or accepted by everyone, but the beauty of authenticity is that it doesn't require validation. It simply exists. So the next time you find yourself trying to be someone you're not, pause for a moment. Recognize that the beauty of who you truly are is far more powerful than anything you could pretend to be. In a world that is often dominated by superficiality, authenticity stands out like a beacon of light. It is not only a gift to the world around you, it is a gift to yourself. The more you embrace your authentic self, the more you will attract people, opportunities, and experiences that align with the truth of who you are. In this truth, you will find the beauty, the strength, and the power that can only come from being unapologetically yourself. Nonverbal communication is often more powerful than any words we speak. It's the subtle yet profound language of our bodies, the messages we send to others without even realizing it. Think for a moment about the impact of a simple smile or the way someone looks at you. These unspoken cues communicate volumes. and they're often more telling than anything that could be said aloud. Our body language has a language all its own, one that transcends culture, time, and even words themselves. Every day, in every interaction, we are constantly sending and receiving messages through our posture, our facial expressions, our gestures, and even the tone of our voice. It's not just about what we say, but how we say it, and more importantly, how we present ourselves when we say it. Nonverbal cues are the foundation of trust, the bedrock of rapport, and the key to building meaningful relationships. They are often the first thing others notice, and they can set the tone for how we're perceived even before we utter a word. In your life, body language is not just a tool for communication. It's a powerful mirror that reflects your inner state. If you're nervous or anxious, it will show in the way you fidget or avoid eye contact. If you're confident, it will be evident in the way you stand tall, make deliberate gestures, and maintain steady eye contact. People can sense these cues on a subconscious level, and they make judgments, often without even realizing it. That's why two people can meet for the first time, and even if no words are exchanged, they can instinctively sense whether the other is approachable, trustworthy, or confident. The beauty of nonverbal communication is that it doesn't lie. Words can be manipulated, controlled, and even fabricated, but body language is far more difficult to fake. A person can tell you they're calm, but if their hands are trembling or their posture is hunched, it's clear that their words don't align with their true feelings. In fact, when words and body language don't match, it creates a disconnect. People will instinctively sense that something isn't quite right, even if they can't put their finger on it. This misalignment of verbal and nonverbal cues often breeds distrust. It's why authenticity in body language is so important. It brings cohesion between your inner and outer world. But nonverbal communication doesn't only serve to reflect your internal state, it also serves as a bridge to others. The way you use your body can either open doors or shut them. When you maintain an open posture, face others with warmth, and use inviting gestures, you make people feel seen and heard. Conversely, crossed arms, avoiding eye contact, or turning away from someone sends the message that you're closed off or uninterested. These cues, though subtle, can create barriers between you and others, making it difficult to build trust or meaningful connections. Consider how body language affects leadership. A leader who enters a room with a confident stride, stands tall, and makes eye contact, conveys authority and decisiveness without uttering a single word. Their body language reinforces their message and creates a sense of trust and respect among those they lead. On the other hand, a leader who slouches, avoids eye contact, or appears hesitant sends a completely different message. Their lack of confidence will undermine their authority and make it difficult for others to feel secure or inspired by their leadership. Leadership is about the ability to influence and motivate others, and nonverbal cues play a massive role in shaping the perception of a leader's effectiveness. In personal relationships, the power of nonverbal cues cannot be overstated. Think about the way you communicate with loved ones. The way you hold their hand, the warmth in your gaze, the way you sit together. These are all powerful forms of communication that express affection, care, and understanding. When you listen intently, nod your head, or lean in slightly, you're telling the other person that you're fully engaged, that you value their words, and that they matter. But when you check your phone, look around the room, or pull away physically, you send the opposite message. You're telling them that they're not important, that your attention is elsewhere. And so, supercharging this concept, the way you use your body also plays a huge role in how you're perceived in the workplace. Professional success isn't just about what you say in meetings or interviews, it's about how you present yourself. If you walk into a room with a firm handshake, a confident posture, and a smile, you're more likely to be seen as capable and competent. Your body language communicates that you are prepared, and that you take yourself and your work seriously. On the flip side, if you enter a meeting slouched, avoid making eye contact, or fail to project confidence, people may question your abilities, even if you're fully capable. In a competitive world, the way you present yourself non-verbally can be the deciding factor in how you're evaluated or remembered. There's also an incredible amount of power in how you make others feel through your non-verbal communication. When you show up with warmth and openness, when you offer a reassuring smile or maintain steady, empathetic eye contact, You send a message that the other person is safe in your presence. This sense of safety and trust is crucial in all kinds of relationships, whether they're personal or professional. Nonverbal cues have the ability to make someone feel seen, understood, and valued, often without saying a word. It's important to note that body language is not universal. It varies across cultures and personal experiences. A gesture that is friendly in one culture can be perceived as rude in another. This is why it's essential to be aware of the nonverbal cues of those around you, especially when interacting with people from different backgrounds. However, there are universal cues, such as a genuine smile, a firm handshake, or an open posture, that transcend cultural differences and universally convey warmth, respect, and attentiveness. An educated person distinguishes between spiritual postures and attentiveness. As you reflect on the power of body language, it's essential to become more mindful of the cues you're sending out into the world. Are you aware of the way you present yourself in different situations? Are you conveying openness and confidence, or are you sending signals of disinterest and discomfort? Nonverbal cues are a window into our true selves, and they provide a clear message to the world about who we are and how we feel. By becoming conscious of your body language, you can begin to shape the way you communicate, influence others, and ultimately improve the quality of your relationships. The next time you interact with someone, pay attention to what is happening beyond the words. Notice their posture, their facial expressions, the way their hands move, and how they maintain eye contact. You'll likely find that these nonverbal cues give you a deeper understanding of what they truly feel or intend. Similarly, consider your own body language. What story are you telling? Are you aligning your inner world with your outward presence, or is there a disconnect? Understanding the power of nonverbal communication can open doors to a deeper level of connection, understanding, and influence in every area of your life. Embracing individuality is perhaps one of the most liberating yet challenging things you can do in your life. We are constantly bombarded with messages about who we should be, what we should wear, how we should act, and who we should associate with. In many ways, society gives us a framework, a set of guidelines that we are encouraged to follow. The difficulty arises when we start to believe that we need to conform to these expectations in order to be accepted, to be successful, or to be loved. But in doing so, we rob ourselves of something profoundly important, our true selves. To embrace individuality means recognizing that you are unique, that your experiences, your values, your ideas, and your presence in this world are not like anyone else's. The beauty of this individuality is that it cannot be replicated. It's not something that can be mimicked or reproduced, no matter how hard someone tries. When you embrace who you truly are, you begin to step into a space that is distinctly your own. Stop trying to fit into molds created by others and start creating your own mold, shaped by your own experiences, strengths, and vision for the world. But embracing individuality is not as simple as saying, I'm going to be myself. It's a lifelong process. It requires courage, self-awareness, and a willingness to face the discomfort that comes with breaking free from the norms and expectations that society places upon you. It involves rejecting the idea that your value is determined by what others think of you, and instead finding the courage to define your own worth. One of the most profound aspects of embracing individuality is that it allows you to be truly memorable. Think about the people who stand out in your life. They are likely not the ones who blend in, who conform to what's expected, or who constantly try to be something they're not. The people you remember, the ones who leave an impression on you, are those who have the courage to be themselves, to stand firmly in their own unique identity. These individuals have a certain quality about them that makes them unforgettable. It's not their appearance or their achievements alone, it's their authenticity, their willingness to show up as they are unapologetically. When you embrace your individuality, you stop wasting energy trying to fit into a box that was never designed for you. Instead, you begin to invest that energy in cultivating the aspects of yourself that make you who you are. It could be your creativity, your passion for something specific, your sense of humor, your unique perspective on life, or the way you approach challenges. These qualities, these aspects of your individuality, are what make you stand out. They are what make you memorable. In a world that often celebrates conformity, being true to yourself can be an act of rebellion, but it's not a rebelliousness that seeks to destroy or tear down. It's a rebellion against the pressures to be anything other than what you are. It's a rebellion that says, I am enough as I am, and I don't need to be anyone else to be worthy. When you embrace your individuality, you begin to live a life that is truly yours. You begin to attract the right people, the right opportunities, and the right experiences. These are the people who see you for who you are, who appreciate the qualities that make you unique, and who are drawn to your authenticity. Embracing individuality doesn't mean you have to be loud, attention-seeking, or overly assertive. It means being comfortable in your own skin, being able to show up as your true self, without the fear of judgment or rejection. It's about not pretending to be something you're not, and not apologizing for the things that make you different. In fact, it's those very differences that make you special. You don't have to fit into a standard to be extraordinary. Your uniqueness is what sets you apart, and that is what makes you memorable. When you embrace individuality, you also embrace the idea of growth. No one is perfect. No one is done evolving. And the beauty of individuality is that it's ever-changing, ever-growing. You are constantly becoming more of who you are meant to be. And that process of growth is what keeps your life interesting and full of possibility. By accepting who you are today, you also accept the fact that you will continue to grow, to learn, and to expand in ways you cannot predict. This openness to growth ensures that you are always evolving into a better version of yourself while still remaining true to the essence of who you are. This is what makes you truly memorable, the combination of your uniqueness and your growth. When you live authentically, you give others the permission to do the same. You create a ripple effect of courage, where those around you feel empowered to embrace their own individuality. Your authenticity becomes a beacon that draws others toward it, and in doing so, you create connections that are meaningful and profound. People will remember you not because you conform to the expectations placed upon you, but because you had the courage to be yourself. You will leave a lasting impact on the people you encounter, not because you tried to impress them, but because you were simply present and fully yourself. There is power in embracing individuality. It allows you to step into your own life, to create your own path, and to live with purpose and intention. When you let go of the need to fit in, when you stop trying to be something you're not, you free yourself to become everything you are meant to be. This is the key to living a life that is memorable, not in the sense of being famous or achieving great feats, but in the sense of leaving a mark on the world and on those around you through your authenticity. So, as you navigate your journey, remember that your individuality is not a burden, but a gift. Embrace it fully, unapologetically. Your true self is the greatest contribution you can make to the world. It is what makes you memorable, what makes you stand out, and what will allow you to live a life that is rich, meaningful, and entirely your own. Positivity and energy are not just abstract concepts. They are forces that shape the trajectory of your life and influence the way you interact with the world. In fact, they are often the hidden ingredients that determine how lasting of an impact you will leave. There's a power to positivity that goes beyond mere optimism. It's about cultivating a mindset that fuels action, drives connection, and attracts opportunities. It's the kind of energy that doesn't just impact you, but resonates with everyone you encounter. When you radiate positivity, you're not only enhancing your own life, but creating an environment that encourages growth, transformation, and connection. Positivity is not about ignoring life's difficulties or pretending that everything is perfect. It's not about burying your head in the sand and refusing to face challenges. Rather, it's about choosing to focus on what you can control, on the potential for growth, and on the belief that you can find solutions even in the toughest of situations. This shift in perspective transforms the way you approach life. Instead of being overwhelmed by obstacles, you see them as opportunities for learning and improvement. You begin to view adversity not as a roadblock, but as a stepping stone to a greater understanding of yourself and the world around you. When you approach life with positivity, it becomes a mindset that guides you through the ups and downs. It allows you to take setbacks in stride and continue moving forward with determination and resilience. The energy you bring to these situations has a ripple effect. People around you notice it. They feel the difference between someone who approaches a challenge with despair and someone who faces it with hope. The person who brings positivity to a difficult situation is the one who inspires others to find their own strength and solutions. You become a source of inspiration simply by how you choose to react to the world around you. Energy, too, plays a crucial role in the impact you make on others. Energy is contagious. Have you ever been in a room with someone whose enthusiasm and excitement are so palpable that it lights up the entire space? That's the power of energy. It doesn't need words to make an impression. It makes itself known through actions, through presence, through the way you engage with others. When you exude positive energy, it is felt by everyone in your orbit. It inspires others to step into their own energy and do the same. Your energy is the silent language of your being. It communicates what you believe in, what you care about, and what you are willing to fight for. It shows in your posture, your tone of voice, your actions, and even your silence. Positive energy is not about being loud or overbearing. It's about being fully present, engaged, and ready to make the most of every situation. It's the energy of someone who is driven, passionate, and genuinely invested in the world around them, and it's an energy that leaves a lasting impact on others. Think about the people who have had a lasting influence on your life. It's likely that the individuals who stand out are those whose positivity and energy inspired you in some way. Whether it was through their words, their actions, or simply the way they carried themselves, their presence left a mark. It's not always the people with the most outward success who make the greatest impact. Often, it's the individuals whose energy was contagious, whose positivity was unwavering, and whose approach to life was one of open possibility. They were the ones who made you believe that anything was possible, that you, too, could overcome challenges and make a difference in the world. That in your own life you have the power to choose the energy you bring to every situation. This choice is not a small one. It shapes how others perceive you, how they respond to you, and how they feel when they interact with you. The energy you bring into a room can shift the entire atmosphere. It can either lift people up or bring them down. When you choose to show up with positivity, you create an environment that fosters collaboration, trust, and mutual respect. People are drawn to positivity because it's a force that nurtures growth, encouragement, and empowerment. It's an energy that builds bridges, not walls. And people find inspiring human beings who believe they also have power and can grow. But positivity isn't just about what you give to others. It's about what you create within yourself. It's about taking the time to nurture your own mindset, to practice gratitude, and to focus on what you can control. When you cultivate positivity within yourself, it becomes a part of who you are. It becomes a natural extension of your being, and this is when the true impact happens. When your positivity is grounded in self-awareness and a deep sense of inner peace, it doesn't rely on external circumstances. It remains constant, regardless of the challenges you face. And that is the kind of energy that others recognize and are drawn to. Moreover, positivity and energy are often key components in leadership. True leaders inspire others not through authority or command, but through the energy they bring to the table. A leader who exudes positivity creates an environment where others feel motivated, encouraged, and capable of achieving great things. It's not about making people feel good all the time, but about creating a space where they feel supported and empowered to reach their potential. When leaders radiate positivity, they instill a sense of hope and purpose in those they lead. They remind others that even in the face of adversity, there is always something to strive for, something to believe in, right? Positivity also plays a significant role in personal growth. It fuels the perseverance needed to push through difficult times and the optimism required to envision a better future. When you approach challenges with a positive attitude, you create an internal environment where growth can thrive. You become more open to learning, to evolving, and to embracing the changes that come with life. Your energy fuels your determination, and your positivity enables you to keep going even when the road is tough. It's this combination of inner drive and optimism that allows you to make lasting changes in your life and, by extension, in the lives of others. In every interaction, every relationship, and every pursuit, the positivity and energy you bring to the table can make all the difference. It's not just about achieving success or reaching your goals. It's about the energy you put forth in the process. It's about the way you engage with others, the way you approach obstacles, and the way you carry yourself in the face of adversity. This energy, combined with a positive outlook, creates a legacy that extends far beyond any individual achievement. It's a legacy of influence, inspiration, and empowerment that leaves a lasting imprint on everyone you encounter. In conclusion, what men first notice about women is not just about physical appearance, but the deeper, intangible qualities that radiate from within. It's the confidence, the authenticity, and the energy that a woman exudes. These traits leave a lasting impression far beyond the surface. Men are naturally drawn to a woman who is comfortable in her own skin, who embraces her individuality, and who carries herself with grace and positivity. So, while appearance may be the first thing noticed, it's the inner qualities that truly define the lasting impact and attraction a woman has.